Why did God regret making man? That's a common question I get from people. Genesis 6, verse 6. And if you read that verse, it literally says this: "And the Lord regretted that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him to his heart." Now you might say, hold up, how does that line up with the fact that God's all-knowing? How can he be all-knowing and yet still regret making man? Does that show he's not all-knowing? No, God is definitely all-knowing, but what it's saying in that verse is it's using anthropomorphic language. It's a fancy word that simply means human language, language that we as humans understand. It's applying human characteristics to God so that we would understand what he was going through. And so it's describing there that God regretted making man in the sense that not that he didn't know, but he's just extremely displeased with man for their rebellion. And he wants us to realize how displeased he was so that we might see that sin is serious. And secondly, it also gives a great justification for why God could then send that global flood. That's the basis of why he sent the flood. The intention of everyone's heart was only evil all the time, it says. And so that's why he sent the global flood. Only Noah and the 8 people in the ark and the animals on the ark, they survived. Everything else perished. To show that sin is serious. But what it should make you do is it should make you wake up and say, okay, God takes sin seriously. And just like there was a strict judgment back then, because God is displeased with sin so greatly, there will be a judgment to come. And God is still incensed about sin. He hates sin. Sin is so offensive to him. And therefore, there's a day of judgment to come. And if you get wiped out in the next judgment, you're in hell for eternity. And so you need to get on the ark of salvation by faith in Jesus. You need to trust that he died for your sin now before it's too late. Because once Christ returns, you'll be under his judgment. Psalm 2:12 says this: "Kiss the Son, lest he be angry and you perish in the way, for his wrath is quickly kindled. Blessed are all who take refuge in him." So see the seriousness of sin through verses like that, but then embrace the good news of salvation through faith in Christ.